Hey, anybody who ever watches this or cares to check this out, let me. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I've got my Beats in my ear, so I was gonna see if the mic was better on this than the Chromebook that I've been using. I first need to see if we're live on the Facebook. We are. So I'm gonna listen to myself for a second. In my ear, so I was gonna see if the mic was better on this than the Chromebook that I've been using. It sounds fine. Always curious about that because I don't use a microphone. I use the mic in the Chromebook most of the time because my laptop died. Rest in peace. Last year at some point, it was a good had a good run. I got it in 2013 or 2014, so it lasted about 11 years, and then it finally pieced out last year at some point, and it sucked because I could do everything. I could use my external mic rather than an internal mic. I could use the camera. Now this thing limits me to two USBs, of course, but StreamYard is so fucking finicky. The what we use to actually stream that sometimes it doesn't want to like my new laptop, for instance. This is this Chromebook I'm using. The new laptop, it won't even let me stream. The audio so fucked up with StreamYard because StreamYard's so fucking janky. It really is. I probably need to find a new platform. Anyway, welcome to the Horror Movie Massacre, the final episode of the Saw franchise. Wanted to start late because I was supposed to have a friend call me at 8 my time, which is obviously 22 minutes ago because my time matters. Your time does not. And she didn't call me. Big surprise. Uh, it's how it goes and how it's been going lately. Whatever. I'm becoming very numb to the entire situation. Seth is was supposed to join. I don't know. Uh, don't know what's going on with him. So it's just me as of right now. And the best part is, I have no fucking clue uh, how to talk about these movies. Seth's the big fan of the Saw movies. Now I've seen Spiral and Jigsaw and Saw X, but talking about them is not for me as much because I don't know. A couple announcements though, while I've got you here. Coming in 2026, we're going to reboot this whole thing. Horror Movie Massacre will be called Horror Movie Massacre Part 2 because we are going to kind of reboot everything, come up with a better way to do the show as far as formats and segments and stuff like that, rather than kind of just shooting from the hip the way we've been doing it. Try to be more organized. And so we're coming in January of 2026. We're going to redo that. And a big deal for 2026 is the Horror Syndicate's 10th anniversary. Started this all back in 2016. It was just awesome when it began. Now it's sometimes I feel like it's just petering down to just me. We had like 20 people at one point writing for the website. And if everybody jumps ship, I'm going to change the name of it to the Razor of Horror or some shit like that. But as of right now, Seth and I are going to continue to do Horror Movie Massacre, and uh, we'll kind of do a reboot that way. Because when we started doing this show in 2019 or 2019, Jesus, 2023, I think is when it was. It was called the Horror Syndicate Up All Night, like USA Up All Night from back in the early '90s. And eventually, we changed to Horror Movie Massacre, which originally was going to be what the Horror Syndicate was going to be called. But I let people voice their opinions. I'm like, I've got two ideas for a name, three actually. Dreaded Horror was one of them, just Dreaded Horror. The Horror Syndicate, obviously, this one, and then Horror Movie Massacre, which was the third idea. So what I did was I just started a horror film group and on Facebook, which we still have the Horror Syndicate group, and called it Horror Movie Massacre. and eventually I just made it the Horror Syndicate Facebook group, and then of course made the show Horror Movie Massacre. Dreaded Horror never went anywhere because they're like, oh, it's too much like Dread Central. I guess Dreaded Horror. I thought it sounded cool. It was short, sweet. I honestly, the Horror Syndicate's been around since 2016. I've never been a fan of the name. So I ask you, anyone watching, please comment. Let me know. What do you like better, Dreaded Horror? Do you like the Horror Syndicate, or do you like Horror Movie Massacre better? Anyway, so the other announcement is Seth's Werewolf Wednesday will become Werewolf Weekly. That way, he doesn't have to keep it on Wednesday nights. So that'll be happening in 2026 as well. And he's going to do a couple other things as well. New logo, obviously, I made that last night, and I think it's pretty cool. The other thing about the Horror Syndicate Horror Movie Massacre Part Two is it's going to be uh, available audio only on various streaming like Spotify or maybe iTunes, somewhere like that. We're going to start having the audio only, isolated from the video, the next day available on places which podcasts stream. So with that, it'll be like the first half hour or so of us talking, because the first half hour we're not going to answer any of the comments that are while we're live. We're going to do that after we finish talking about the show, talking about whatever, like Seth does on Werewolf Wednesday. We're going to do that. So that'll be fun. And then it'll be available, just that part where we talk to the you guys when you have your questions or whatever, like Dreaded Horror, thanks. It's too late now. But maybe I'll do another horror podcast called Dreaded Horror. But yeah, like that, like anything that comes up on the chat like this, we will wait till after we are done talking about the topic at hand and then get to the comments and answer any comments. The only bad thing is live viewers may disappear by the time we get there. That's the only downside of that, because I know a lot of people like to chime in while we're talking. And when they chime in, they like to have their voice heard and they like to be answered in a timely manner. So we're going to have to make that clear from the top of the show that that's not going to be the way things are going to go. So just changing things up a little bit, trying to make it more fun, more at the same time being more organized. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Seth, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of this show from Saw, because I don't I'll tell you, I'm not going to talk about Saw. Uh, Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it as this, as an announcement, and get the hell out of here, because yeah, I can't do the Saw show alone. I could do a lot of other shows alone. Like I thought about, and let me know what you guys think about this, doing short videos of like counting down my top 100 horror movies of all time. We're talking everything that I love, all the way down to number one, which most people know what my number one horror movie is of all time. I'm wearing the main actor on my shirt right. So it's a tall task. I just did my top 50 of the 1990s on the horrorsyndicate.com, but yeah, that's the plan right now. If you're a fan of the Horror Syndicate and you don't like watching us live, we're going to have an audio option available at some point with the Horror Movie Massacre Part 2. And then, of course, we're going to have Werewolf Wednesday becoming Werewolf Weekly. So more of announcements rather than a show, I guess, because I've not heard from Seth. It's been 11 minutes since we've been live. Uh, I don't know. One thing I will tell you about this show also, we are going to go back to the well, and we're going to go back to movies we talked about originally on Horror Movie Massacre. Like we started out with the major franchises, the Elm Streets, the Halloweens, the Friday the 13th, Child's Play, all that stuff, and we're kind of going to go back to that. That way, and that's why it's kind of like a reboot because if we go back, then like when the audio comes out, new listeners will not be like, "Why did you guys ever talk about this? Why did you ever talk about that?" It's like, well, we already talked about that, but that was on the old show. And while I probably can extract the audio from the old shows, I don't think I want to because I think that if we do what Seth and I had a meeting, we do what we talked about in the meeting, then we'll be able to kind of make it more shorter. I think will be one thing. So it'll be like half-hour episodes, 45-minute episodes, because on the audio side. Because when we do the video side, we'll be doing basically Q&A type stuff after we get through the topic. So the first chunk of the show will be all for the audio, and then we'll get into all the BS and we like to do on the show, like I've been doing right now. If anybody got any questions for me about this? Is anybody interested? Anybody sad? Anybody disgruntled about this? Let me know. I am moments away from stepping away from the show for the day. There's other things I could be doing. Um, and I'm not trying to be mean, rude, or whatever, but yeah, I'll probably try to call my friend. And if she doesn't answer, then I think I'm going to kind of give up on trying to reach out because you can only do so much. You know what I mean? I thought about doing this idea on maybe not on here, but somewhere separately and call it Razor's Romances. I've had a lot of female interactions over the years, and the funny thing is, it comes with. I think we were married for 13 years. My beloved wife who passed away in 2017. So there's a big chunk missing, but I've had some crazy relationships and I've always wanted to talk about them, but I've never really found the outlet. Then and I don't obviously the horror well, they could be horror stories. Okay, goodbye, Sean. I guess. Are you not coming back ever? Or are you just done listening to me ramble? Because I'm just rambling trying to wait for Seth. And I'm giving him about 40 more seconds. And then I'm gonna wrap it up and say goodbye to everybody for the night. Who the fuck is Travis Colson? I don't know. I get friend requests from people that I don't even know all the damn time. Yeah, I'm glad you're not going anywhere, Sean. I appreciate the support over the years and you being a part of the show. It's always fun reading your comments. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Seth. I'm gonna call it a night because I'm not gonna wait around and then spend another hour and a half on here. It's I have kids' first day of school tomorrow, so I got to get up earlier, and I hope everything's okay with Seth. I've got other things I'm going to do though tonight, so I'm going to change the title of this and say announcement, yay, and then that's it. So once again, anybody who cares, Horror Movie Massacre will be starting over in January, and of course, Werewolf Wednesday will morph into transformation into Werewolf Weekly at the beginning of the year. So be ready for that. We announced the stuff on our Facebook page earlier today and on our Instagram page. We do have Instagram, we do have Facebook, but expect more polished and cleaned up episodes of the Horror Movie Massacre. And maybe, just maybe, I'll do my top 100. Uh, of all time. If anyone's interested, I'll just start from 100 and do short videos of each one, get counting down to number one, which is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do. 16 minutes of vamping. Uh, no Saw. Uh, we were going to talk about Jigsaw, Spiral, and Saw X. Saw 10, but that's not happening. So, everybody have a great night. Hopefully, my earbuds worked out well. It sounds weird because they're stuffed in my ear, and I can mute them. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Who fucking knows. Anyway, I miss doing live streams on the Facebook page, just regular live streams, not this. And I think maybe I'll start doing some of those again. Maybe I'll do one now. I don't know.